Instagram Live people are now on. This is Lorelei from Third Eye with Lorelei, and today is Tuesday, and it is Crystal Corner class today. So I'm really excited to bring you guys some new crystals. And today is actually we're moving away from the chakra balancing stones and moving into something different and really cool and new. So I'm really excited about that. And so today we're going to be talking about alchemy stones, or in other words, transmutation or transformation stones. So let's talk about that today. So I'm really excited because these are really interesting and really wonderful stones. And some of them you might recognize just because they're a little bit more familiar stones. And I actually didn't realize that they were actually alchemy stones. So this is very exciting for me. Anyway, let's talk about what alchemy is. And of course, my little thing turned off, so let me see if I can get it back on really quick. I'm getting a little bit more technologically advanced with my child protective thing here for my tablet. Okay, so also before we begin, if you are beginning crystal journeying or whatever, utilizing crystals to enhance your practice, these are some amazing books that you can use to help you identify and select your different crystals and stones. Okay, so this is Crystals for Beginners by Karen Fraser, and this is the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall, and this is the first book of a 3-book series that is very informative and very, very interesting. So this is more geared towards the beginner, obviously, because it's a Crystals for Beginners book. So if you're interested in it, this is a really good one to start with, and then move up to this one. Or you can just dive into both, whichever. I mean, you do you. It's amazing. So anyway, that's where we start. Okay, so let's talk about what alchemy is. What is alchemy and why do we utilize it? So alchemy, by the Webster's Dictionary, is a medieval chemical science and speculative philosophy aiming to achieve the transmutation of the base metals into gold, the discovery of a universal cure for disease, and the discovery of a means of indefinitely prolonging life. So this is also coming from a blog post that I recognized and read through, and it was amazing. And it's from a website called krista-mitchell.com, and she does all things metaphysical and crystals, and so that's where we got this one from. So alchemy was the ancient predecessor of our modern science of chemistry and was practiced in secret for thousands of years in ancient China, Egypt, and Greece, right up to medieval France and England. In crystal healing, the approach to alchemy is figurative, meaning turning lead, in other words, if we're looking at this from a metaphysical standpoint, our wounds, shadow selves, and illness into gold, or our light body, our consciousness, and our health. When we do energy clearing with crystals, we are transmuting lower harmful frequencies into higher frequencies of light and harmony. So it's a form of energy alchemy as opposed to the base metals like lead into gold. As we heal and grow, we transform. Whether or not life is prolonged can be debated, but it is certainly enriched. Okay, so if you're looking to create significant change in your life, yourself, or your world, you can work with alchemy stones to help initiate or affect powerful inner and outer transformation. Okay, so then we go into what are alchemy stones. And some of you probably have already thought of a few right now, which is amazing. And I love you guys, and thank you for watching this. Okay, so what are alchemy stones? Due to their healing and transmutative properties, one could say that all crystals are alchemy stones. But if we're taking a spiritual approach to this, which we are, to the work in terms of ascension and expansion of consciousness and our living experiences, so we narrow down the field to fire and storm element crystals, which I thought was really interesting because I've never thought of, like putting them into those two groups, which she has here, which I thought was really cool. So she says storm and fire elements. So she's going to go into what those actually mean. So storm crystals emit transformative frequencies and embody the storm element. The storm element is composed of more than one of the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water. The fire element has always been associated with alchemical transformation through the application of heat and the effect of flame. A classic example is the alchemy of cooking, obviously, where base ingredients exposed to heat transform into a delicious dish. Or the glass tube of liquid being heated in a lab. There are even crystals like topaz and amethyst, for instance, that change color when exposed to high temperatures. And I actually have an example of one of those in my little box over there. While some may view storm and fire energies as destructive, we see it as transformative. It churns things up, gets things moving, and clears through blocks and old baggages, energizes, my little tablet turned off, energizes and reveals what's been hidden underneath and brings to light the darkness. So through the alchemical combination of more than one element, storm stones transform and transmute, and oftentimes quickly and very powerfully. Okay, so I actually made an amalgamation of definitions of these different stones here, so we're going to go through it. So one of the places I got this from was cosmiccuts.com/blog healing stones blog crystals for transformation, and then also meanings.crystalsandjewelry.com. And then also, in addition, I used the Crystal Bible book to look up some of these definitions. So I just kind of like put it all in there, okay? All right, so the first one that we're going to talk about is labradorite. And she says with labradorite is a fire, water, and storm stone. So labradorite is one of those crystals that's very powerful to help with transformation and transmutation of your spiritual journey, okay? And I have a huge hunk of labradorite. So this is what labradorite looks like, okay? So it's kind of hard to see, but it has these beautiful opalescent type, you can kind of see it as I turn it, these opalescent flashes of like blue, green, gold, and even in some cases some purple. Labradorite can come in different colors too. It's not always like this really dark blue color. It can come in like a lighter color as well. And I think a bunch of different ones, but this is the one that you're going to generally see most frequently. And it is really, really beautiful, and it's very protecting too, and it helps you to connect with divine source as well, okay? I also have some labradorite on my bracelet, and I wear this baby all the time, generally whenever I go someplace where I'm not entirely sure, like, you know, especially at like work and whatnot, where you're experiencing a lot of different energy. So it's very protective in that sense, where it keeps you kind of guarded from psychic attack, but it also helps you with your connection. So that way you maintain this connection with divine source, that you don't feel that separation, if you will. Because sometimes people feel like really cut off, especially as they're working through a lot of their shadow selves and a lot of the issues that kind of arise in their lives, and that can make you feel like you're cut off a lot. So it's nice to have something that can help you, remind you that there is this connection always, and that the seemingness of separation is just in your mind. Okay, so let's talk about labradorite. Okay, so labradorite can strengthen our spirits when we are facing big changes and obstacles in life. It is one of the transformation stones that can raise our vibration, but also protect us from negative energy while we are undergoing changes. This way, we are able to find the root causes of our suffering or stagnation without external interference. It calms the mind and heightens the intuition so we can understand the internal changes we are going through. Okay, so labradorite is very, very effective in kind of, in a way, gently making those, understanding what those changes are, so that we can go through the work in making those changes happen, okay? In addition to protecting you from additional outside influence that can sometimes slow the process down, okay? So the next one is a pretty common one also, which I feel like a lot of people have, and a lot of crystal stores have these ready available. So this is clear quartz, okay? So this is a polished version of clear quartz, and this is another polished version, but it's more of a point. And these are especially good for like using it in like healing because of the point in and of itself. You can actually point it to areas that you need to have like very like concentrated work done and healing, because clear quartz is very good with amplification and also clearing as well. So having that point is actually very helpful and beneficial to healing. It also helps with pulling out as well, okay, and amplifying out energy or pulling out things, okay? So clear quartz, that's just regular stone that's been polished, and then you have the point, which is really awesome and beneficial. So let's talk about how clear quartz is helpful in transmutation and alchemy, okay? So it is identified as a storm stone, and I only have 3 of these from this particular definition of the storm and the fire, okay? So labradorite was fire, water, and storm. Clear quartz she identifies as just storm, okay? So anyone who is looking for life purpose and feels change at the core level is going to find the vibration of clear quartz incredibly transformative. Clear quartz ignites internal change. It helps us answer deeper existential questions and use those answers to grow internally. This crystal helps us transform so we can be in better alignment with our truest selves, catalyzing spiritual elevation. Supported by this energy, we can make changes in the physical and gain higher consciousness so we can lead more fulfilling lives. So I didn't even really know that clear quartz had all that with it as well. I just thought it was a useful tool to help amplify energy, but I didn't really realize how incredible this stone is for actually changing your spiritual self to elevate what it is that you need to change within you and help you identify it. So and really answer those questions. You know what I mean? What is going on with me? It's like, well, let me help you find it. I'm going to help you find it, and we're going to sort this one out together. Okay? So that is clear quartz. Now on to the next one. So this one is one of my personal favorites. There's 2 that are my personal favorites, and this is one of them. So the next one is moldavite. And a lot of people, when they actually get moldavite or they hold moldavite for the first time, they have this, especially if they're sensitive to energy in any way, shape, or form, they get what's called the moldavite flush, because moldavite has an incredibly high vibration. Because moldavite is actually, I've talked about it a few times, so some of you may be very familiar with moldavite, but it is a crystal that, or a tektite that was created from a meteor impact millions and millions of years ago. And it was, I think in the Valley Moldau, I think in like the Czech Republic area. And the tektite that was created from that blast and that impact created moldavite. Yes, moldavite caused such a reaction from me when I put it on, right? It is very intense. So thank you Constellation Kid by Nicole. I appreciate you for engaging. I love it when people engage with me as I'm doing this. So right, it makes, if you are sensitive to energy, moldavite, you are going to feel it. Even if you're just like a little bit, if you're just kind of like getting into it, if you hold on to it, poof, you'll feel it. You're going to feel something. There's going to be a little something, even if it's a little tingle, something's going to happen. Me too. I have a big piece right here that I'm going to show you guys in a second. So moldavite is one of those tektites. It has its own version in of itself. It's not a crystal or a stone. It is a tektite. And it has this vibration from the cosmos. And so it forces your vibration to match it. So that's why you receive this flush, because your energy is forced up really high, and you're like, whoop. Sometimes it can be a little bit it can be a little jarring for sure. And the first few weeks affected my sleep somewhat. Yes, so if you do happen to buy some Moldavite, by the way, congratulations, that is amazing, because Moldavite is not cheap. And I would definitely say maybe not carry Moldavite by your bed until you have really like gotten used to its vibration, because like Constellation Kid by Nicole, if you have been wearing it and you haven't quite gotten used to it yet, it can very much affect your sleeping, because it's forcing your subconscious to match this level of vibration, and it can be very, very jarring. Gave me the courage to make many impactful decisions and choose a new life path. That is amazing. And isn't that just the truth with Moldavite? It really does help you connect with what changes you really do need to make, which is why it is one of my most favorite alchemy stones, because it is going to show you what it is that you need to do in your life to make the most beneficial and positive changes. So I honor you and congratulate you, Constellation Kid by Nicole. That is huge, because a lot of people can be very resistant to it, and that's where you start seeing physical signs when it's like, nah, this is what you got to do, but then you have this resistance. You're like, I'm not ready. I don't want to do it. It can physically make you feel very, very ill. Like I've had people that have bought Moldavite and they've worn it and they've been very resistant and didn't realize what it's actually for. You're going to make some changes. And if you're like, no, I'm not ready for it yet, it's like, well, you're not going to feel good while you're wearing it, because it's going to keep trying to dig out that piece that needs to be understood in you. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to start feeling those effects. So I'm going to read what this author has mentioned about Moldavite. So she identifies this as a storm stone. So Moldavite is an intensely spiritual stone and can transform and transmute your consciousness like no other. Am I right? Constellation Kid by Nicole? I mean, really? It really does like change everything for you if you let it. It should be used with discernment, as its energies are accepted to be amongst the most powerful of any crystals and can sometimes be overwhelming, especially for sensitive souls and empaths. One of the main metaphysical properties of Moldavite is its ability to transcend time. This makes it an incredibly useful stone for anyone who is engaged in past life regression or in exploring their own soul path in all directions of time. And now that is something very specific for me, because that is where my purpose lies, is in past life regressions and in past life readings. And so that's something that is very beneficial to me, and the reason why, an additional reason why, there's so many layers as to the reasons why we need to change, but that's part of the reason why Moldavite is so like big for me, right? Is having to do this work in reaching past lives of not just myself, but in others as well. So let's go back to it. Let's see. And exploring their own soul path in all directions of time. It is much prized by healers who work with deep-seated emotions, clearing the etheric body and auric field of unwanted baggage from the past. It heightens our self-awareness and helps us to uncover those thoughts, feelings, and emotions which may be keeping us stuck in an unhappy present, allowing us to move forward and to see the possible outcomes in our futures. So pretty amazing, right? So this is my piece of Moldavite that I have. And I have a littler piece that I bought a while ago. I gotta get her out here. Okay. So this is my little piece. I'm going to show my Instagram folks. You see how there's lots of translucence that's to this one? Sometimes you get smaller pieces and you can have a lot more of like the, the translucent effect of it. And then you get some of the bigger pieces like what I have here. And this is my big old hunk of Moldavite, which I've had wrapped with a Herkimer diamond, because I'm not joking around about my vibration. I'm sure Bianca's looking at this and going, oh, I love it. So my piece of Moldavite here is a little darker. As you can tell, it's almost like it almost looks like a deep, almost like a black in a way, but it's green, I promise you. And this little bad boy makes me, Like it brings forth all the things for Lorelei. So, so that's Moldavite. It is absolutely incredible. So I encourage you, if you are very, very serious about moving forward and transforming and making things happen in your life, this is a great stone to have. Purchased mine when I was desperate for bravery to move on from a toxic job. Needless to say, it worked. Yes, girl. I love it. I love when you have positive change that comes from the work and then using these tools to help amplify that change. It's almost like just putting lighter fluid on the fire. You know, you start it and then you just give it a little bit of gas and then it just takes off from there. Yeah, you really do have to be serious about it. Otherwise, what's the point? And then you start feeling that friction of needing that change, but meeting it with resistance. It can feel so, there's such a discordance that happens in your body as you're going through this and you're like, no, but I'm not ready. And you know, you have the fire lit already and you're trying to put the freaking thing back, the lid back on it. And it's like, well, now what do you do? So put the gas on and go for it. You know what I mean? Stop resisting and allow the change to happen, because it will change for good. Okay, so let's move on to my second favorite one. And this one is actually, if you're into tarot, I feel like Moldavite is similar to the, yes! Oh my God, I have made that exact same comparison. Miss Constellation Kid by Nicole. Ooh, you and I today. We are seeing each other. So yes, the Moldavite is very similar to the Tower card in the tarot. And if you're familiar with tarot cards, you know, and if you've seen the Tower card, which is of the major arcana in the traditional tarot card decks, it is the card of transformation. It is the card of change, where it is the foundation is cracked and now everything has to be restructured and made new, which for most people is bloody terrifying, right? But that is transmutation. That is alchemy. It is changing one element into a completely different element. And that's, you have to undergo, you have to undergo that fire and that pain of movement, of change, in order to experience the positive that comes from that process. And it sucks. Sometimes it really, really sucks. Sometimes it feels okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes change feels great. I mean, let me just tell you, I am a mutable sign and all of it. So my moon, my sun, my rising is all mutable. Change feels good, but there are times that change really, really hurts, but you got to work through it. And that is part of spirituality, is working through that painful change in order to experience on the other end the beauty that happens with this transformation. Yes, it is full of synchronicities, and we are synchronizing today, my friend. So I'm very excited about that. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. My second favorite, which is Galena. And this is the first stone that I picked up before I even became like this awake and aware being. It is, and it's funny because yeah, mutable fifth sign thrive. Yes, they do. And boy, do I, right? So Galena is actually the opposite of Moldavite in the sense where it is not the high vibration and force of moving upward in your vibration, but it grounds you in a way that is very, very powerful. And that to me, because being a Pisces in my sun sign, I am like always up here in my head thinking of things and moving through things in my mind, and I'm just existentially in the clouds in my brain all the time. This is who I am. And so having something like Galena that is not only a transformation stone, but a really powerful grounding stone, makes me feel very good in my physical and etheric body. So Galena is one of the strongest and most effective grounding stones around. Galena will also help you access your spiritual wisdom and give you a better perspective when making a tough decision. It is a stone that will harmonize the physical body with the spiritual body. It will promote peace and tolerance in your life and give you a different perspective during challenging times. It will also decrease the number of self-limiting events that will take place in your life. And galena will help you in your spiritual journey and in the process of your transformation. It will keep you safe and anchored even when there are so many changes taking place. Galena will act as a powerful mirror, which will reflect light into the darkness and deepest parts of your shadow self. It will promote peace, tolerance, and kindness as you learn to embrace the aspects of yourself that you fear. It will also provide a strong centering energy that will make sure you're all right, even when you're facing a set of challenges. Now, doesn't that sound beautiful? And no wonder I felt so called to it. So when I picked this stone up, I was living in Berkeley at the time, and I had just found out I was pregnant with my first child. And I walked into this crystal shop and I just honed in right on that little stone, that galena. And I was like, I need this, and I don't know why. And I bought it, and how beautiful, even just reading this, it gets me emotional, thinking about how spiritual we actually are, and sometimes don't even realize how much we draw these things that we really need in our life for a very specific purpose. So let me show you what galena looks like, okay? And this is a huge piece because I have somebody borrowing that piece that I told you about, which, by the way, I need that back if you're watching this. So anyway, this is a huge hunk of galena, which I got in a rock shop in Fort Bragg. And the guy that owns the shop is fantastic. He's the quirkiest guy, but so amazing. Beautiful earth in Fort Bragg. Yeah, super interesting fellow, but knows so many things about rocks and gems and minerals. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. But anyway, this is galena, but as you notice in this piece, there's additional things in it. Whoop, see that? Like what dat, right? So this is sphalerite and quartz that's mixed in with the galena. So it amplifies the crap out of the stone, because you have the quartz, which, as we talked about, is an amplification stone. So this is like giving galena an extra boost. It's sort of like giving it a couple shots of espresso and let's get it going, right? So this is galena amplified because you have the sphalerite and the quartz that are in it too. And apparently you find galena with sphalerite quite a bit in the natural world. So it's very common to see sphalerite with galena because I feel like they're sort of like buddies. Anyway, so that's and that's from Bulgaria, that piece right there. Okay, so that is galena, and I feel like it is a beautiful complement to moldavite, which is going to amplify and increase your energy exponentially, and then galena will help you kind of ground out a lot of that energy and help you to feel safe moving through this process of change and transformation. So I feel like having those two together won't make you feel so, oh my God, like this is bananas, I don't know how to deal with all this, and you're like up here not feeling super grounded. Galena will help you achieve some of that anchored, grounded, but keep the momentum going into this transformation and alchemy that's very necessary for our practice. Okay, so let's talk about lodolite. Now, I actually just got a piece of lodolite, and it's sort of green. There's apparently a lot of different pieces of lodolite in different colors, but this is the one that I have. And it's really super pretty green color, sort of clearish. This one's polished. You can find unpolished raw lodolite as well, but this is a polished version of it, okay? So lodolite resonates with the crown chakra, and it is one of the crystals for transformation that supports spiritual awakening. Lodolite stimulates growth, making it incredibly potent for those who would like to expand their consciousness and self-awareness. Its energy helps us manifest our desires by realigning our mindset to match higher frequencies. Because of that, we can shift our perception and see the wisdom in the life lessons that are thrown our way. Thanks to that, we create a new perspective and are able to live life in accordance with newfound enlightenment. Let's see, grounding is so valuable. I didn't realize the importance until I had my own babies. Yeah, girl. Oh my God. Oh. And that is a whole other level, right, of spirituality. I mean, it is a layer of the onion of our spiritual journey, right, is when you have children, whether it is, you know, children from your body, children that are fur babies, or even plant babies. Like, it is a responsibility outside of your own responsibility for yourself that you learn how to engage in a spiritual way outside of yourself. And they're of you, right? There's a reason why you selected these things, or they have selected you, really, in the real perspective. They have selected you, and there's a contract that's made. And it's like, wow, that's kind of a lot for selecting a plant, but it's true. There's meaning behind all of it. And there's meaning behind having another life that's present in your life for a very specific reason. And so with having children, it is a huge purpose and a huge calling, because you are asking somebody to directly reflect who you are to you. And that is like, so having the grounding is essential when you have children, because sometimes you can get a little bit lost in that frustration and anxiety of seeing yourself very, very clearly from a very pure perspective. And let me just tell you, that has been a real thing. So I see you on that too, Miss Constellation Kid by Nicole. I wish you had just the one name. I might just start calling you Nicole, but I don't know if that's what you want. So anyway, okay. So Lorelei, amazing stone, especially as you're creating all of the things and you're manifesting it. It's like, yep, this is what you need, and I'm going to help you get there, and we're going to just hold on tight to that. Okay. So elite shungite is the next one. I didn't know there was other. Okay, good. I'm going to start calling you Nicole. So I didn't know there was a difference between just shungite and elite shungite, but it looks the same. So I'm just going to show you shungite. I don't know if the one that I have is elite or not. I'm cool with non-elite shungite, but here we are, right? So it's kind of a littler piece. Okay, so this is shungite. And it is a black stone. So as we know and talked about in some of the different Crystal Corner classes, black stones are going to be very relative to your root chakra and keeping you grounded, keeping you feel safe. And there is a large safety element when it comes to black stones. They all don't perform the same though. So shungite is actually a very powerful EMF blocker. So in addition to keeping you safe and opening and balancing your root chakra, this is also going to protect you from any emanations from electronics, okay? So this is shungite. And let's talk about what it does for transformation and transmutation. So elite shungite helps us grow in a safe environment. It does so by eliminating negative frequencies from our environment, as well as psychic blockages that are holding us back. This is a highly purifying stone that can cleanse our energetic body so we can feel more stable in the midst of change. As a result, we feel more empowered to follow our path and embrace or start the process of internal change. And isn't that absolutely beautiful? Because here you are thinking that this is just going to keep our cell phone emanations from getting up in our business, but now it's actually helping us through this dramatic process of change. Or even if it's just a slight change and it just feels a little bit icky, this is still going to help you move through it with some grace, okay? So elite shungite, or maybe just some regular shungite, whatever you feel called to. So, okay, the other one I actually don't have, and this is gray Botswana agate. So gray Botswana agate, so this is what she says: instability, loneliness, and fear are all common occurrences during spiritual ascension. And gray Botswana agate is here to help us cope. This crystal helps us see ourselves clearly and presents to us the possibilities and paths that we couldn't see before. It helps us remain centered during big shifts in energy and gives us the strength to follow our gut. Because it reduces fear, we feel more courageous to leap into the unknown that's ahead. More so, it helps us integrate all aspects of our being so that transformation doesn't feel so painful and scary. So if I were to make a comparison, gray Botswana agate is sort of like our therapist, right? It is our therapy stone during this change that we're undergoing. It keeps us centered. It keeps us grounded. It keeps us in a space of, I'm going to continue doing this because it's for my highest good. It's going to help you move through it. Yeah, awakening certainly causes loneliness and uncertainty, right? Because you realize now you're kind of set apart. And so this stone in particular will help you stay the course and realize that this is for a really, really good cause, and that you're not really by yourself, that you actually have a tremendous amount of help and a tremendous amount of support, even though you may feel, like I was saying in the beginning, there is that feeling of separation and, isolation, and you have to learn how to realize that that is not a truth, and that you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this, and you're going to realize the amount of support that you genuinely have. Well, social media is such a blessing of the month, right? I know. And like amidst all of the things that can be with the social media, it is amazing to find connection through it with people that are very like-minded and loving and open and want to experience this change and help you through it, and then in turn help them through it. It is a very divine and unconditionally loving connection that we see each other with, Nicole, don't we? Okay, so Botswana agate, our therapist in the crystal world, whom we love very dearly. And apparently I need to get a piece because I don't have one to show you today. So anyway, let's move on to smoky quartz. And that has been, I am so happy to have a big piece of smoky quartz. I actually have lots of pieces of smoky quartz, and a lot of times when I talk to people, and a lot of times people that come to me, they're going through stuff and they have to release a lot of the fear and anxiety and anger and all the kind of lower vibrational things that they carry with them. Smoky quartz is a beautiful way of getting that done. Okay, so let me show you my smoky quartz here. So this is smoky quartz. Now you see where you have like the quartz piece, the clear white piece down here, and then at the tip, which is absolutely gorgeous, is this black, very, very deeply smoky piece. And I have to tell you that whenever you get gifted a crystal, that is like the best thing ever. That is like, not only is it coming into your life like just because it needs to be there, but somebody felt called to bring it into your life. So that's like, that knocks me the heck out. Hi, Jen. So anyway, yeah, you love it, Nicole. It's just like, it makes everything so much better. So smoky quartz is one of those things that help you release those past things that you're carrying with you and you don't need anymore. This is the baby that you want, okay? So let's hear what this author has to say about smoky quartz. So this healing stone triggers positive transformation by helping us get over and get rid of painful or toxic thoughts that we've adopted over time. When we are transforming, we feel confused, and smoky quartz can help us feel more grounded when we feel like the whole world is falling apart. So that's when we're experiencing that Tower card. Am I right, Nicole? It is like, oh my God, I feel like everything is changing and falling apart. I don't know what to do. And then smoky quartz is like, hey, hold on to your butt. You're going to be okay. We're going to get through this. Okay. So it teaches us new ways of being and thinking, helping us transition from one period to another with more grace. So I'm making a lot of like comparisons today. So this is like the bestie that you need to unload all of your baggage on. And she's like, we're going to be good. We're going to have a little glass of wine and we're going to kick this bitch in the ass and move forward. Smoky quartz. Am I right? Some of you might be like, that's a little weird, but hey, I that's how I feel about it. Anytime I'm having a horrible day and I finally sit down to do some meditation at night and I hold on to some smoky quartz and say, I release, I let go. Even if I can't verbalize exactly what it is, but I know I got to release it. I know I'm carrying some extra stuff with me that I need to really let go of. I hold on to that baby. I hold on to this baby and I say, I release and I let go. And I swear it is just, it helps. It helps so much. And I hope it helps you too. So anyway, smoky quartz. So let's move on to the one that I was talking about earlier when we were talking about how alchemy is not only with like changing with cooking, there's also alchemy in the base metals and changing with heat. So ametrine is also another one of those. So when you heat up amethyst to like an incredible level, it turns into citrine. So there's this between phase that can happen where you have amethyst and oh yeah, hi Sally. I don't like calling you that because you're my mother-in-law and I love you. So Mama, I know it does feel like I'm talking to you a little bit. Okay, so ametrine is when you have amethyst and you start heating it up to an incredible rate, and then it starts to change to this like bright yellow sunny color called citrine, and then you have both in one crystal, and it's amazing. So I'll show you the piece that I have. So this is ametrine, and hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. So you have this, I'm going to show the IG people here. So do you see what I'm talking about? Like the bottom part is the citrine, and then the top part is the amethyst. You see my Facebook people? Bottom part is the citrine, top part is the amethyst. So you get both in the one piece by introducing high heat, okay? So ametrine, there we go, helps to evolve by eliminating limiting beliefs and helping us see things in a new light. People who can particularly benefit from its transformative power are those who feel empty and lost, not knowing who they are anymore. Now, I have to say that this is particularly poignant because of the chakra bodies that it helps, right? So amethyst is kind of an overall crystal, but mostly it is a third eye and a crown chakra crystal. Citrine is very much centered in your solar plexus. And so if you have feelings of loss or feeling like you are lost and feeling like you don't have like that self-worth or that like confidence, those two crystals are the ones that you want to help with that feeling lost and scattered and like you can't see things clearly, you can't think clearly, and you don't have the confidence to move forward. Much love, which mixed with crown chakra, passion and joy with yes, intuitive, spiritual. Yes, Nicole, absolutely. It makes such a huge difference having these tools, this amethyst and the citrine, and that combination helps connect the two in a really powerful way so that you don't feel like you're continuing to just like aimlessly moving around in your life without any purpose or without any goals in mind. So this is a great stone to have when we are looking for strength, when we are on when we are on the verge of change, and even when we're afraid. It is one of the crystals for transformation that help us ditch old ways of living so we can move forward with renewed sense of self. Okay, so that is ametrine, and it is like one of the prettiest stones, honestly. Like I feel like that one didn't do as much justice, but if you look at an ametrine with the purple and the yellow and everything, it's amazing. And if you feel called to it, there's a very specific reason to that too, so maybe go pick up some. Okay, all right, the next one, I don't have this one either, but if you've ever seen tiger's eye, it's a pretty popular stone. This one is actually blue, a blue version of tiger's eye, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Kind of does the opposite of what tiger's eye does, because tiger's eye is sort of like an awakener and an amplifier of your solar plexus, similar to citrine, but blue tiger's eye is like a cooling off. It is sort of like the yin to the yang to this area, right? And it helps kind of stoke that fire and balance things out and help you to kind of move with more fluidity into what it is you're needing to be doing. So blue tiger's eye is there to enlighten us about who we are and who we are not. By shedding light on our blockages, behavioral patterns, and beliefs, we can see clearly what hinders our growth. Through helping us gain more self-awareness, blue tiger's eye shows us new ways of being and thinking. Its vibration helps us get rid of whatever is holding us back so we can enter a state of metamorphosis. So this is sort of like the prequel to the change. It's like, you know, you got to do it. You know, you got to make that happen. but you're kind of unsure about like getting there and who you are and getting there. And so this is like the thing that you should be holding on to when you're about ready to make that big step and to change, okay? You buy that piece of moldavite while holding your blue tiger's eye, so that way you feel like you're steady and ready to go. This way we are able to revolutionize our core self each day and start leading a more authentic life. So I feel like everybody should have a little bit of blue tiger's eye. I mean, maybe some of you are like, I am good. I am good. I know myself. I know where I'm at. I know I'm constantly moving through change and I need those things. But I feel like this is like that constant reminder that you're doing the right thing and you're about to get into some change. It's going to be okay. We're going to do this. It's going to be all right. So blue tiger's eye. It's amazing. So the next one I have actually a lot of, and this is citrine by itself. So I only brought one piece though, so I didn't bring all of them. There's lots of little pieces of this at home. So do you see how beautiful? This is citrine by itself. So we were talking all about, you know, how this is formed, right? By amethyst that you heat up by a tremendous amount and it becomes this beautiful sunny yellow piece of quartz, right? So this is citrine. So citrine is, okay, so she says transformation is not always easy. And isn't that the truth? If you've ever undergone change, sometimes it hurts a little bit. But citrine can make it easier. This is one of the transformation crystals that can help us work with the universal laws and manifest a life we've always desired. It helps us make internal changes and shift perspectives so that it matches what we're trying to manifest. Citrine cleanses our energetic body from pain and negativity, which makes sense. I mean, look at it. It looks like a little sunshine rock, right? I mean, it embodies positivity. How did I do? Stay great. Oh, I love you so much, Taurus Love Creations. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate you and love you so much. I'll see you then. So citrine, little sunshine rock. Absolutely wonderful, right? Helps you to focus on the positive in this transformation. Citrine cleanses our energetic body from pain and negativity. This helps us look forward to the next, or to the new life we are creating, be thankful for the lessons learned, and see positives in our experiences. So that makes sense. The sunshine rock is going to tell you that this is going to be for good, and just you wait. It's going to be amazing and help you focus on the positivity that is here right now with you. Even though you're kind of going through some stuff, this is the one that's going to help you, remind you of what you have and what will be, and it's going to be awesome. Okay? Citrine. So the next one is carnelian. So another one that all these ones I had no idea, citrine, carnelian, rodent. I had no idea all of these were transformation stones, which is amazing. So I got a bunch of them laying around the house. So carnelian, which is a sacral plexus stone. So this is your seat of femininity, of inward power, of, you know, fluidness. It is manifestation and sexuality. All of this is a very powerful center right below your belly button. So carnelian, and it's orange, just like the chakra body color. So this is carnelian. It's just a little baby piece. Just a little baby piece of carnelian, but it's amazing. Okay, so carnelian, having a piece of carnelian by our side can help drive change in a positive direction. It is one of the crystals for transformation that gives us outlets for actualizing the internal change we are going through. It does so by motivating us, giving us the courage to try new things and explore what makes our hearts sing. This brings us closer to our true selves and help us shed old layers of identity that we've adopted over time. As a result, we are able to see change as something positive and attract experiences that are more in alignment with who we are becoming. That is really, really powerful. And I had no idea that carnelian was that way. And so I'm so happy that I have this little piece, and I think I might get some more. Just because that is really, and for me and where I'm at in my life, I feel very important, because sometimes you need that extra bit of motivation to let go of the way that we used to do things and who we used to were and our old patterns of how we did things, and move into this new way of being with positivity and love. I've been drawn to my carnelian in the last few weeks. I was using it for creativity motivation to work on my children's book on boundaries. Yes. Oh my God. And it is such an incredible stone for exactly that, for your motivation and to moving into this new, powerful, energetic. And it really is great. So another way that you and I are seeing each other, Miss Nicole, I tell you what. Rhodonite. And guess who doesn't have rhodonite? So sorry. But the rhodonite is actually similar to rhodochrosite. It's pink and it has like a little bit of white in it and sometimes a little bit of black inclusions. Beautiful, beautiful stone. It's really centered around your higher self, higher heart chakra area, and also the heart area as well, to help with self-love. So what they're talking about here is rhodonite can help us break free when we feel enslaved by feelings of hurt and resentment that are keeping us stuck in the past. Through healing our emotional body, rhodonite brings us back in balance and helps us see ourselves in a more positive light. It transforms us and helps make baby steps to uncovering and living up to our full potential. By helping us release emotional baggage, this crystal opens us up to universal knowledge that leads to self-discovery and transcends past experiences. So, so you came to the right place because you're seeing the rhodonite and the carnelian and the moldavite. So yeah, the rhodonite is so incredible for taking what you've processed and really start to dig in and let go of some of those things that maybe you've kept with you, that pain and that hurt. And especially as you're trying to move into this new version of yourself that's empowered and that's moving and it's making sense of your life, you have to really try and see how you can see yourself as this positive, loving being by letting go of how you used to be or how you used to feel about things or how you used to feel about other things, because that's not going to help you move forward by carrying the anchor with you, right? You got to drop anchor at some point and let it go, right? I know how it talks about baby steps and I'm all about impulsive diving in. Me too. I don't know about, that's where I'm trying to learn, is how to do baby steps. I'm not one of those people that likes to do little things at a time. I'm like, I'm going to go all or nothing, balls to the wall, like, let's do it. That's why moldavite is like my jam. So I think maybe some rhodonite will help me achieve some of that patience. I should look into how to approach things in more gradual, gentle. Yeah, gradual, gentle, patient, baby steps seems like a really good way of going about, but it's hard when I see you. I'm one of those people too that I just want to do it and go and just make it happen and dive in with both feet or even head first and just go for it. So sometimes rhodonite is really good about helping you develop that patience and those baby steps of moving forward to where it is that you need to be, truly and completely. Okay, so the next one, I have two more, you guys, two more. So, rutilated quartz, and I don't have this one either. I swear I just kept finding so many over the week. I was like, oh, this one, and this one, and this one. And I'm like, I don't think I have all of them. That's okay, we'll still talk about it. So, rutilated quartz asks for a guide, and rutilated quartz will be there for you. Stones for transformation like this one support spiritual awakening and help us go through the different stages with more ease. The transformative power of rutilated quartz lies in its ability to connect with higher levels of consciousness and illuminate the path forward. It helps us feel more powerful with each step we take, assisting us in shedding all of the unauthentic thoughts and behaviors that are hindering our growth. That sounds amazing. I like that. I like a little assistance with that. I want change and I want it now. Yeah, I do. All of it. Let's just make it happen. Oh boy. What makes a stone rutilated, or is it just a name? You know, I'm not entirely sure what makes it rutilated. I want to say that there's like some color and some shifting that happens, but I'm not entirely sure what makes it rutilated. So I'm going to look into that, Nicole, and figure out, I'm going to make sure to make a note of that and bring it up next week, so that, or the following week, following Tuesday, because I'm not entirely sure what makes it rutilated or not. So, but anyway, yeah, so that's that is like amazing, because I like the thought process of feeling more powerful while I'm making these changes and not feeling like I'm hopeless and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So having that little piece of extra confidence is like the thing, right? So actually I lied. I have one more after this next one, which is amethyst, and then I have one more after that. And that's only an add-on because, like I said, I just keep adding more and more and more. So amethyst, and obviously I have amethyst. Obviously I have amethyst. So this is a piece of amethyst that is just a little geode. My IG people, there's a little geode of it. I have a massive one at home, but you know, for travel purposes, this is a little easier. But love amethyst, okay? So amethyst is one of our favorite crystals for transformation because of its strong holistic properties. It can act as a guide when we are going through significant life changes. It can transmute any experience into something positive. Amethyst helps us shed old skin through raising our consciousness. It connects us with the divine when we need guidance and teaches us to surrender to change rather than resist it. This way we can discover who we are and get to a point of spiritual breakthrough. So that's incredible. So I love the idea of having this piece that helps you to shed all of the old things and bring in the new and allow for the new and discover who we are and get to that point of spiritual breakthrough. So I feel like this one would be a really good one while we hold on our piece of gray Botswana agate before we just start this process. Have it with you, and then we get our piece of moldavite and galena to help keep us grounded, and then the amethyst helps you shed all of that negativity off as that moldavite brings your vibration higher, and galena helps you keep your feet on the ground. Okay, so the next and the last one is one of my most favorite pieces. Again, I said two, and I think there's three. So anyway, no big deal. So the last piece is carawhite, and I recently got a really beautiful pendant for this, and this is carawhite. So I'll show you guys this little piece that I have here on my IG, and this is my Facebook with the pendant. So it's a beautiful purple piece, and it's different from amethyst in that it's not a quartz, so you don't have the clear inclusions with it that make it. Oh, it's funny, I had it right over my third eye, which is like really appropriate. So healing and enlightening, like a cooling pool in contrast to the fiery properties of other transformation. Yes, what a beautiful way of describing that, Nicole. It really, really is. It's very embracing and loving and cooling, as opposed to the massive transformation stones like with moldavite. That's just gonna rocket launch you into this transformation. Has to be from the Rutila region of France. Oh, love you. Oh my God, somebody answered the rutilated question. Love you, you're amazing. So the stone has to be from the Rutila region of France to be rutilated. Otherwise it's just a sparkling rutila. Thank you so much. You're amazing. I don't know what CRFYL. You're amazing, and thank you so much for answering that question, because I didn't know it off the top of my head. So love you. Thank you so much. So there it is, Nicole. That's how you know it's rutilated versus not rutilated. So anyway, carawhite. So this is the carawhite. It's a very beautiful purple stone. And I felt very called to talk about this one. I know, sorry, I get very animated about my excitement. What can I say? I just go for it. So I felt very called to talk about carawhite because it is one of my most favorite stones to help with transformation. Okay, so I'm just going to read the first part of this book just because it talks about carawhite and what we're speaking of here with transformation. Carawhite is a stone of transformation. It is the soul stone that overcomes fear. Carawhite stimulates inner vision and spiritual insights and aids in coping with enormous change at a spiritual level. To facilitate this, it synthesizes the heart and crown chakras, cleanses the aura, and stimulates unconditional love. Carolite encourages vibrational change and links to higher realities. At the same time, it provides deep physical and emotional healing, and it helps you to accept the present moment as perfect. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time accepting that what's happening right now is perfect. But if you think about it for just a moment and you allow that to sink in a minute, it kind of is. Everything is meant to be exactly the way it is right now. And that, in a sense, is perfect, right? It is exactly how the universe has made it out to be right now in this moment for you. So I really love that Carolite is helping you to realize that that is exactly how it is meant to be, and to sit in allowance of that instead of resisting. So for healing, Carolite transmutes negative energy into healing and converts dis-ease into wellness. It re-energizes the body when exhausted, heals and integrates dualities, and regulates blood pressure. So I love that. I love all of the things, if you hadn't noticed yet. I love everything with these crystals and stones. But Carolite is one of those that sits very closely to my heart, in addition to galena and moldavite, right? Because it is one of those things that helps ease the transition and move you into change, which is very meaningful. You'll bounce around and you'll get sounds good. Okay. So, there was, I think I might have missed one here, because I think hematite was one of them, and I have hematite in here, and I don't think I put that in there for no reason at all. So let me make sure before I sign off. Oh yeah, I have two more. Oh, surprise, surprise. I said is just not this universe. Oh, yeah. Champagne versus sparkling wine joke, but in some universe, what I said is correct, just not this universe. We're in a whole other realm, aren't we? Right? Okay. All right. Hematite. Hematite is a powerful crystal that supports personal transformation by helping us get unstuck and move forward even when we don't know how to. Hematite does so by strengthening our faith and promoting the strength that is needed when we feel lost and confused. It works directly with our energetic field, allowing us to see a new perspective and find enlightenment. It cleanses it from old and outdated energy and creates space for attracting new, more positive experiences. So, this is, it's magnetic. So hematite, I have one of these at home somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. So this is an anklet of hematite. And they say that you probably shouldn't wear this consistently, but allow it some time to like clear out or whatever, or it might like weigh you down a lot. Some people can wear this all the time and it's fine. For me, I have to take a break from hematite every now and again, but it's a very powerful cleanser. So this is one of those things that helps ward off negative energy, clear your auric field, and also ward off any EMF energy, that sort of thing. Okay, so hematite, and it's also really magnetic. So this is hematite. And then black onyx I have on me, but it's on my ankle, and I don't know if I'm flexible enough to like show you, but it's another black stone, so it's very helpful in grounding and for allowing your root chakra to balance and open. And what they say, and this, I swear this is the last one, okay? Black onyx. So we transform when we ditch the old and embrace new ways of being. And black onyx is there to teach us that. It reminds us that all of the dark and challenging times we go through are powerful lessons that are there, not to shatter us. I don't know what that knocking is right now. Okay, anyway, I'll just keep going. The lessons that are there are not to shatter us, but to help us grow. The vibration of this stone helps us release what is no longer serving us, while assisting us in facing our shadow side and all that is hidden in the psyche. This way, through increased awareness, black onyx helps us see the light at the end of the tunnel and to use our experiences to transform at the core level. I love that as sort of like the ending one. As hematite reacts with iPhone. Does it really? Oh my, Nicole just told us that her hematite, or she notices that hematite reacts with iPhones. So that's very interesting. Is it one of those discs, those pop-out disc things that everybody has for their phones, you know, to hold on to and whatnot? Very on point as someone is banging on something over there. No, I'm like, what is happening right now? Somebody's banging on the wall. I don't know, but it doesn't shatter us, right? We learn to adapt and grow, don't we? And we continue forward and onward, right? And laugh about it. Learn to have a little bit of a sense of humor. Maybe they're trying to get my attention. We'll find out. I don't know. But anyway, that's all of the crystals that I have for today, you guys. And I hope that you enjoyed all of the stuff and all of the crystals. It's okay, you've got the crystal to that's right, I do. I have all the things to protect me, and I'm very protected and safe. And I've got Nicole to back me up, don't I? So that's pretty much it, you guys. That is the stones of transformation. The stones I did too, honey. I'm so happy that you were here. And learning how to go through this process with ease, with grace, and with a little bit of extra oomph. So if you have any questions about any of these, or talking about alchemy and learning how to process through exponential change, please feel free to contact me. I have a website called Third Eye with Lorelei. That's 3RD with Lorelei.com. You can slide into my DMs if you want to and talk to me about all the things. I love talking about all of this stuff, and I love all of you guys, and I really appreciate, and I'm so grateful for every single one of you for being here with me as we move through this process together and discover our own awakening. So anyway, I'm super excited to talk to you guys. So anyway, I love you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I look forward to talking at you again soon. And don't forget to tune in on August 7th for my 3rd season of Third Eye with Lorelei podcast, where I talk about all the woo-woo, beautiful crystals and all the things. Love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk at you again soon. Bye.